Copy. We welcome you to Kansas City, where we are just about set for a key MLS Next Pro showdown at Swope Soccer Village. It is Sporting Kansas City 2, hoping to continue some semblances of positive momentum against the Tacoma side, fresh off its first victory of the year. We say hello and welcome from Victory Field at Swope Soccer Village. Sam Goldfarb here, bringing you all of the action. A pair of sides with just one victory and 4 points off playoff pace on the young season, and this is what Lee Santrit trots out for his side. A 4-3-3 setup, pretty similar to some of the sides he's trotted out already this year, although Kashana Hines leads the line, the hero of that victory a few weeks back against Vancouver Whitecaps FC2. He's partnered by Haas and Messiah Rodriguez. Meanwhile, Jack Courtcamp makes his season debut between the sticks. On the opposite end of things for Tacoma Defiance, this is a squad that has trotted out a contingent of first-teamers. To this one, Osase De Rosario, who is a goal-scoring machine the past 2 years in MLS Next Pro, gets an opportunity to lead the line after playing as a substitute last night for the first team. Yuso Kanome, the leading goal scorer with 4 goals on the season underneath him. That partnership, which revolutionized the league last year, has been reunited. And then Sebastian Gomez and Charlie Gaffney, the wingers. Between the sticks, Noah Newman makes his debut, the Sounders Academy product between the sticks. Just about ready to get everything underway here in Kansas City at Swope Soccer Village. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action here tonight. A beautiful night for football in the Midwest here. It is a warm one, 78 degrees, light humidity for a 7 p.m. local time kickoff. It is Sporting Kansas City 2, a squad that has won just one of its opening 9 matches. They will be going from left to right on your screen, Tacoma from right to left. And we just await our lead official, Alejo Kalume's signal to get everything underway here from Kansas City. Will it be SKC2 building on its victory from a couple weeks back, or will it be Tacoma stringing 2 wins together on the trot? Find out in a matter of 90 minutes here in this key Western Conference showdown. And we are underway here from Swope Soccer Village. Sporting Kansas City 2 and Tacoma Defiance lock horns for the 13th time all-time. A 6-5-1 advantage in favor of Sporting Kansas City, although recent history has been dominated by Tacoma and beaten in the last 6 between these two squads. And Defiance in the light blue, tealish color gets us underway. Here's Gomez, who dances past one defender. That is cleared away. Well, talking to Paulo Nagamura of Tacoma Defiance this week, he mentioned how last week was really the byproduct of a series of building blocks they've been laying for plenty of weeks. This is a squad that did go winless in the first 7 across league play, but it is a side that was much better performance-wise than its record had indicated. And he felt like once they started to string some chances together, they'd be a real dangerous outfit. And that they did last Sunday, a 4-1 throttling of LAFC 2. As that cross comes in, ran all the way across the face, and it's just in front of De Rosario. Took a nick out for a corner, and an early set piece for SKC2 to weather. Promising build-up here. You see it comes out to Cody Phoenix on the left flank, the fullback, and he just pings this in. It's a footstep in front of De Rosario, and perhaps the intervention of Pierre Leroux did just enough to put him off. Sets up Tacoma for the match's first corner. Comes in with in-swing, flicked along, and no real issues for the new man between the sticks for Sporting Kansas City 2, Jack Courtcamp. Made double-digit starts a year ago for the second team, but this his first opportunity between the sticks. Jacob Molinaro has played every minute prior to this one. And they turn to Courtcamp, who was the early season go-to for SKC2 a year ago. O'Neal wins a set piece. Kingston. He's made plenty of waves in Seattle Sounders lore over the last month or so. Pair of assists in that second leg CONCACAF Champions Cup victory over Vancouver Whitecaps last month. That had many calling for him to sign a first-team contract, and he did shortly thereafter. Still has played a big role, though, with the second team as a key leader in midfield. And here's Kingston again. De Rosario. Someone who looked like he was carving out a regular role with the first team, but Daniel Musovski getting back up to full fitness has slightly inhibited his push. Still has played big minutes in MLS play, but no longer the go-to starter he was to open the year. Needs some valuable minutes for him to get under his belt and keep himself match fit. Sukanome. Trademark Tacoma dominance through the opening 4 minutes. They've already asked questions of this young Sporting Kansas City 2 side. Phoenix. It's broken up by Leroux. Back to Courtcamp, but it's not the best of back passes from Jack Franca. And out for yet another corner.
Vai jogar, Missa! Vai jogar! Ready!
In-swinger. It is dangerous. Comes all the way through to the backside. Gomez, one of the many first-teamers littered throughout this Tacoma squad tonight. It is rather remarkable when you actually look at the Tacoma lineup. Antino Lopez, Stuart Hawkins, Cody Baker, all on first-team contracts. In addition to Kingston, Sukanome, Gomez, and De Rosario. That makes for 7 of the 11 tonight for Defiance on first-team deals. And when talking to Paulo Nagamura, he couldn't confirm anything in terms of the expected team news, but he did say that he expected a side that was highly competitive on paper, and that is what we see here. And they've already overrun this rather young and relatively inexperienced Sporting Kansas City squad. This is flicked to the back post and back in. Court Camp that time, no issues collecting. Quintero. This is Ty Haas. On the opposite end of things for Sporting Kansas City, too, it was no doubt a shaky start following last season in which they managed a league-low 17 points. That was a squad that had an average age of younger than 20, and they unfortunately experienced many moments of naivete in that disappointing 2025 campaign. But this season, it is a side that has been more competitive, and despite going winless in the first 7 matches of the year, they have produced a pair of more promising displays, although they turn it over here. Baker deploying it wide once more. Early cross towards De Rosario, this time broken up. But talking to Lee Tesantrit, he did mention that he feels that the last 2 weeks especially have represented major progress. Gomez drives at the back line here, rounds his defender. It is away from Young. Finally, a chance to play out for SKC2. Haas. Quintero. Trying to break lines, but can't do so. When you think about these last 2 weeks, Sporting the 3-2 victory over Vancouver, a thriller in which they scored 2 goals at the death to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Lee Tesantrit said he was incredibly proud of his side. That felt like a potential turning point. Last week, still disappointing in terms of result. They did fall to Dynamo Dos after conceding twice in the opening 20, but he felt the performance was more than competitive, and ultimately it was a matter of they created enough chances and just didn't take them, and their counterparts in Houston, which has taken chances ruthlessly all year, did that, and that was the difference. He says they're starting to get to a point where they feel like they are confident enough to win matches, and now it's just about doing that to build the confidence up. He seemed confident enough that they would not have a repeat of last year when all was said and done. De Rosario dances past defenders. Kingston out wide for Gaffney, who hooks it towards the back stick, and it's a necessary intervention at the last. A free header neutralized, and it's just a corner, but it could have been so much more. You see this cross come into Cody Phoenix, and it is the intervention from the 16-year-old Jack Franca which does the job. If not for that, we could be looking at a 1-0 scoreline. Franca doing very well there. Third corner already in these opening 10 for Tacoma. Runs all the way out. Quick cut inside. Always rising. Sukanome continuing to ask questions, as are his counterparts. Referee gets in the way there and breaks up the build. Early on, though, you see the game model pretty clear, working it side to side in classic Tacoma fashion, stretching this defense methodically. The biggest issue that's plagued Tacoma this year was an inability to take their chances. They endured a goal drought at one point that eclipsed 360 minutes and only scored twice in the opening 5 matches, but have been able to bounce back and exploded, and now they have a chance here. Court Camp coming to the rescue. Cleared away. This is Hines. First touch of the night for him of consequence. But when you talk to Paulo Nagamura, even during that drought, he said that they were doing a lot right. They were progressing the ball in the final third. They were imposing their will on matches. And it was just an issue of the final ball not being right or players not taking chances. They finally broke that goal drought in the defeat against Vancouver last month. And then against St. Louis, battled back from a 1-0 deficit before falling to the Western Conference leaders. But that victory last week against LAFC 2 could represent a major inflection point in their season. 4 goals after falling behind 1-0 early. That's powered them back into the Western Conference chase for now. De Rosario.
Pressure on the ball!
Phoenix.
Help him out inside. Tell him where you are.
This is Gomez. An arcing ball in.
Very good. Very good.
And it evades everyone in the teal of Tacoma. For those just joining us, we welcome you to Victory Field at Swope Soccer Village. Tacoma Defiance asking questions early on. This was the chance moments ago. It's a well-weighted through ball. And on a different day, you would have fancied Defiance to take this chance. And those are the opportunities that have gone begging for Defiance over the course of this year. A squad that last season was one of the most prolific goal-scoring entities in MLS Next Pro. Did lose the likes of De Rosario to the first team, and Sukanome inked a first-team deal as well. Have shown signs of life with 6 goals in the last 3, and you'd figure that with the form they created for themselves a week ago in front of goal, if that chance presents itself, they won't leave it on the table again. Haas. Clever interplay there with Donovan. 19-year-old academy product who has made himself a mainstay in the lineup of late for SKC2.
Keep looking for the spots.
Haas. Flipped at the heels by Phoenix, and he turns it over here. Gomez, crunching tackle from Quintero. And acres of space for Donovan. Now you're starting to see some space for Sporting to operate. Here's the turn. Dipping cross that's stabbed away by Phoenix. Sukanome. This time, dispossessed. Haas.
I noticed.
Now you get your look at the touchline. Paulo Nagamura leading the troops for Tacoma Defiance. Plenty of experience under his belt. Has coached in a second-team fold. Has also spent time in many MLS clubs as an assistant and a head coach. Best known for the time with Houston Dynamo a couple seasons back. There's a deflected cross that Hines goes after. Still wrestling with it. Now you're starting to see Sporting establish a degree of comfort. Frank up. They split the lines here. Quintero dipping it towards Messiah Rodriguez, who is always a threat, but this time didn't time his run well enough.
Cody, keep coming, Cody. Cody, keep coming. Keep coming. Yes, yes.
It has been an interesting period for these two sides that date back north of a decade at this point. Played in the USL before making the move to Next Pro upon the creation of the league in 2022, and shortly thereafter. The Sporting side in 2023 was a playoff squad, finished top 3 in the Western Conference, and was a real player. But since then, real struggles the last 2 years. Narrowly missed the postseason despite boasting one of the league's top goal scorers in Cameron Habibullah 2 years ago. And then last season, the disappointment, finished with just 17 points from 28 matches. It was their lowest point per game tally throughout their decade-long history as a team. For Tacoma, it was a similar story. It was a side that was fixtures in the playoffs for years, reached the postseason in each of their first 3 Next Pro campaigns, and under Evre Diese, it looked like they had really established a consistent game model, but midway through 2025, just hit a major skid. Winless in 11 matches throughout the dog days of summer, and that's when things really unraveled across the board. It was, of course, complemented by the loss of some of their top talents on both ends of the pitch, moving to the first team. It's resulted in a few coaching changes since, and Paulo Nagamura is the man tasked with guiding them back into the playoffs this year. And despite the shaky start, a win would take them 1 point south of the postseason cut line. Here's Maybe. Rodriguez. Back for Blaine Maybe, who has a crack, and that is well over the bar. Well, fans, the official check-in account partner of Sporting Kansas City and the official jersey front partner of SKC2 is Central Bank, which is a proud presenter of this portion of the match. Inching towards 20 minutes here from Kansas City at Swope Soccer Village. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all the action at Victory Field, where there's no score between Sporting Kansas City 2 and Tacoma Defiance. Promising start by Tacoma has been neutralized by an equally resilient response from Sporting, and it's made for entertaining end-to-end football thus far. Maybe. It's turned over here. Sukunome. Kingston.
Don't give him time on the ball, guys.
Hawkins. Just his second start of the year. Played 45 minutes in that LAFC2 victory last week. Sukunome looking to spray it wide towards Gaffney, and does so well. Sukunome again, just a wizard on the ball. Here he is again. Clever 1-2, looking for De Rosario, and it's broken up by Young. Much needed response, but again given away. A hard hit ball from Gomez, and it draws an awkward save out of Court Kemp. Once again, Tacoma continuing to press the issue, and you just see too many costly giveaways are putting Sporting in dangerous positions, and it's not the cleanest of saves from Court Kemp, but it does the job. That's all Lee Tasandrit can ask for at this point. Well, talking to Lee Tasandrit, he's mentioned that it's no stranger what the issues for Sporting have been. It's been the defensive woes, a team that's shipped the most goals in the league. But he does feel the organization is getting much better. You see this side gelling and starting to establish a consistent center-back partnership as well, with Young as well as his counterpart in the heart of defense tonight. And it's allowed for some continuity between Leroux and Young. It does feel, though, that they need to get over the hump in key moments, need to defend their box better, and also need to take their chances. And it's important to note as well that it's not an experienced team, even by Next Pro standards. They've started 4 or more academy products in pretty much all of their league matches, their previous 9 to date, and tonight no different. This is a squad that is still trying to work their young lads into the mix and find the best combination of players, as well as providing a beacon of opportunity for kids in the academy and beyond. This is driven wide.
Hey, don't be afraid to whip some in!
Maybe. Hines. Donovan. Donovan again. Quintero. One of the more experienced presences out of the American college ranks. This year 2 for him in Sporting's midfield. Donovan ran into too many teal shirts and ultimately lost it out of play. Well, fans, this portion of the match is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield Kansas City, the official healthcare insurance partner of Sporting Kansas City. Midway point of this first half, lively start by Tacoma. Some signs of a retort from Sporting Kansas City, though. And it's made for an intriguing one here in this fixture between sides with just 1 win each. A pair of teams with 6 points on the docket, separated by just 1 point in the Western Conference. And as things stand, they sit in the live table just 4 points off that top 8, which of course the top 8 qualifies for the playoffs in October. That is what all these teams are pushing for. Of course, it's important not to get too bogged down in the standings in early May, but if you can string together a few results and watch yourself climb up the table, it is human nature. That will push you on and give you confidence. Haas was a heavy touch. This is De Rosario. Late challenge on Hawkins.
Get ready, get ready!
Kingston looking to switch the play, and it is a well-weighted ball. This is Gomez. Phoenix on the underlap in space, across the face. No one there to knock it home. Sukanome was looking to greet it. You just see how much success Cody Phoenix and Tacoma Defiance are having on this left flank. Overlapping, underlapping runs, carving out so many angles for cutbacks, and the likes of De Rosario and Sukanome are just waiting like a shark smelling blood. Gomez again. Kingston has a crack, just wide, and it may have taken a touch on the way.
Now look at your AR! You had it right the first time! Look at
And that it did. So to the chagrin of the fans in attendance, it is a corner for Tacoma. A common occurrence in this first half. This is another strong spell forward. You just see Gomez cut inside, Kingston too much space here, and it is a slight touch off what appears to be Shane Donovan, which does concede the corner, ship the corner, so to speak. In Swinger. Kingston charges beyond Franca, spaced across. Half-hearted appeals for handball waved away by Alejo Kalume. De Rosario. This escorted wide. Gaffney. Sukanome. Looking direct for De Rosario, who does get a touch to it. Not enough to put it on frame, though. Sporting just continuing to struggle to build out, and that's been the story of this first half. Kingston. He's been everywhere for Tacoma through these opening 25 and change. Sukanome, this time can't thread it through. Is there room the other direction? Rodriguez off to the races, and numbers now in support for Sporting. Driving to the byline. Sporting just looking for an angle to cross and truly test Tacoma's back four. You see Tacoma's transition defense, though. It has been impeccable. And Paulo Nagamura early in the season, after some struggles defensively, put heavy emphasis on tightening up their defensive organization, and you're starting to see that on full display now. Donovan gets it in the half space again and has a pop. It's claimed rather comfortably by Noah Newman, and he passes his first test of the season. Those 6 straight starts for Max Anchor between the sticks. Noah Newman, the Sounders Academy player, getting an opportunity here. Someone who did make 4 starts at the end of last year. This is his chance to carve out a bigger role when Anchor isn't available. Anchor was magnificent throughout the early portions of the season. That performance at Vancouver, despite the defeat, was flat out sensational with 10 saves against his former club. So big shoes for Newman to fill, but fortunately for him, his side hasn't left him out to dry much. Kingston wanted the run of De Rosario and instead routinely back to court camp.
Wayne, keep looking for it, Wayne. Don't relax. You and guy out. You gotta find it.
Donovan loses out. Kingston looking direct for Sukanome. It falls for De Rosario. Gomez. Patient again from Defiance. Hawkins. Ticking towards 30 minutes. Still nothing to separate these two sides. Tacoma continuing to push on in pursuit of a breakthrough. Gomez. Just beyond the underlapping run of Phoenix, but it is taken out for yet another Tacoma corner. Common theme of this first half. Sporting has handled all of the set pieces well, though. In-swinger from Kingston. Flicked along across the face. Quintero out of danger for now. Run down by Sukunome and company. Gaffney chasing. First time cross in, and another set piece results. And it's become an aerial bombardment here from Tacoma. A side that has grabbed the match by the scruff of the neck and hasn't let go.
Dive, find your guy. Here we go, guys. Go, Gashi. Lisa, here. Middle first. Middle. There you go. Perfect.
What can they conjure from corner number 6? It's Phoenix flipping it in. And they can't clear it yet. Finally getting it out of trouble, and Rodriguez a chance to break, and this is where he's at his most dangerous. Donovan now. Frank up is fouled. Overzealous in the press by Tacoma, which is a hallmark of the way they look to win the ball back upfield. Paulo Nagamura mentioned how that needs to remain consistent. Their performance going forward as well as their defensive organization, but has also spoken about the importance of the counter press and imposing their will as Quintero's effort was rather underwhelming in the end. It's left him worse for wear as well. Well, fans, this portion of the match is presented by St. Luke's, the official healthcare partner. Excuse me, it's presented by Compass Minerals, the official plant nutrition and salt provider of Sporting Kansas City and Sporting Club Network.
You follow the press. Yes.
Final 15 minutes of this first half, and still nothing separating Tacoma and SKC2. De Rosario does well in the hold up there. Kingston. O'Neal. Looking wide. Gomez chasing, and he does keep it in play. And then finally ran out of real estate. Baker.
Hey, I don't want them to have time there. Go! Double H, you must do some work.
Another switch wide. Gomez has been a busy boy on the near side. It's a clever ball in. It's not dealt with either. Mad dash from Phoenix and De Rosario. Tracked down by Gomez. O'Neal. Kingston. Looking wide for Gaffney. Does enough to keep it alive for Tacoma. And they just continue to stroll forward with waves of teal. And you see the importance of Mark O'Neal in particular in the midfield for Tacoma Defiance, a 24-year-old who was exceptional as a center back for Whitecaps FC2 a year ago, has joined Tacoma and has played all over the shop, right back, outside center back, and now as a deep-lying midfielder. His tactical and technical versatility is something that Paulo Nagamura has raved about. Kingston, De Rosario, launched out of danger. But you're starting to see the impact now he has stepping into midfield. Just looks so composed, and that allows them to trot out so many different formations. The Tacoma squad that matchup to matchup may play a 3-back, may play in a 4-2-3-1 setup, and it may also shift fluidly during the match in the build, something Pablo Nagamura has prided himself on. Says players like O'Neal are the key to that. He values players with an ability to play multiple positions and step in seamlessly, and O'Neal fits that description to a T. Donovan goes down, and it's a free kick for Sporting. Some testy afters as well. Inside the final 10 minutes now of this first half. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action from Victory Field at Swope Soccer Village. It is still 0-0 between Sporting Kansas City 2 and Tacoma Defiance, a pair of squads that have endured somewhat rocky starts to their 2026 MLS Next Pro campaigns, but a victory could change everything for one of these two sides. The question is, can one of them produce it? Set piece here for Franca and company. It's a rare one for Sporting as well. Donovan. Launched to wide. Runners across the board as well. Maybe is crowded out by the many in Tacoma colors. And they're looking to break. Sukanome, Gaffney.
Behind you, Jack!
Awaiting reinforcements.
We gotta stop!
Kingston.
Time on the ball! Here we go!
Sukanome. Phoenix. Hawkins. Caught in a spot of bother here. O'Neal can't win it back cleanly. You're starting to hear the very animated calls of Lita Santrit on the touchline, encouraging his side to press a bit heavier and not allow the likes of Sukanome or Kingston to get the ball in space, because ultimately that's allowed Tacoma to run the match. He mentioned to me that he has placed a lot of emphasis on getting their press in order and having their banks in line properly. He's still a young squad that is learning. As this cross comes into the box, now sits at the edge of the area. Haas. Franca. Maybe. It's a flashing ball. Franca did well to keep it in play. Sporting just struggling to string consistent spells of possession together. They do win a throw here.
Really good, bro.
Business end of the first half. And is there a plot twist on the cards before halftime? Or will these two sides enter the break still seeking that elusive opener? Maybe. It's a lovely switch of the ball. Messiah Rodriguez still looking to grow into this one. He'll lay it off on this occasion. A decent cross in, and Sporting takes the lead. Against the grain, they power themselves in front, and it's Shane Donovan on the score sheet. Well-worked move here. This 1-2 play between Wantlin and Rodriguez, and you just see the cross come in, and it's a terrific one, right on the money. And just like that, Shane Donovan powers Sporting in front. Zane Wantland with the scintillating ball. Shane Donovan with the free header. And a pair of Sporting KC Academy products help make the difference for the home side. Sporting 1, Tacoma 0. Such a dominant first half from Tacoma, but against the grain, Shane Donovan, the Kansas City native, for his boyhood club, giving SKC2 the lead. And as things stand, they would be in line to claim an incredibly valuable 3 points against a Tacoma side littered with first-teamers. It's Donovan's second goal of the season. The first came in that Rapids 2 match on March 15th, a 2-2 draw that was ultimately contested in penalties. Sporting took the extra point from that. And now he gets on the score sheet to give them a rare lead this season. Tacoma must throw caution to the wind a bit more than normal now. Gomez. High arcing cross is headed away. We were wondering if one of these two sides would throw a wrench in things, and as we were doing that, Shane Donovan decided he would be the player to do so. And it is quite the plot twist indeed. Sporting has had bright moments in the first half, but no doubt on the back foot. And one of their slickest spells of interplay leads to a free header for the 19-year-old. Someone who's been with the club since joining the academy as a youngster in 2021. He is someone that Lita Sandrit mentioned has been well beyond what he would have expected for his age. He said that the academy players in general that have worked their way into this side, either academy kids that have signed second-team contracts like Donovan or players still on academy deals, have all performed above the level he would have expected from them at this point. And Donovan, no exception to that rule, and it's been a key factor in this one. Here's Kingston's in-swinging corner. Too much pushing and shoving in the box for our referee's liking. Lita Sandrit himself is someone who's very familiar as well with the likes of Shane Donovan and many of the other players involved, like Wantland, who played the cross-in that led to the opener. Someone who was a veteran of youth coaching, spent nearly 20 years at the high school level in Maryland before moving to Kansas City and taking a job as the U18s coach. So he coached many of these Sporting players on their way through the youth ranks. Now at the professional level this season, given an opportunity to coach up a club he's been a part of since 2023, and he's mentioned what an honor it is for him to be the lad entrusted with leading this side in what hopefully is a bounce-back campaign. There was Ariel. That's well done. Immediately crowded off the ball. O'Neal there to respond. Rodriguez. Kingston. Final minute of the initial 45, and as things stand, Sporting will enter halftime overjoyed with the way this first half has played out. Gomez. Can he conjure a response? Weaving a web of lies on the near side. Phoenix in the space on the underlap. Gomez again. Flipping it to the back post. Cleared to the edge of the area, and it's a wonder strike. That is quite the loud response from Tacoma, and we're all square on the stroke of halftime. What a hit from Cody Baker, and what a response from Defiance. Well, this cross just comes to the back stick. It sits up so nicely for Baker, and he puts his laces through it on the half volley. And that is a cracker of a finish. Tacoma level in loud fashion.
That's it, we go again. Come on, you.
Cody Baker, the 22-year-old, the product of the Sounders Academy, who signed a 4-year homegrown player deal in May of 2023, has ascended through the youth and second-team ranks and has been on the precipice of the first team for quite some time. He responds in sensational fashion with a wonder goal that has put Tacoma level just before the break.
A yellow card caution has been issued to Tacoma Defiance number 33, Cody Baker, in first half added time.
It's just Baker's second professional goal. Someone who struggled to carve out a consistent role in MLS play last year after playing a bigger role in 2023 and 2024, as you see him booked after the fact for that goal. So maybe a little too much energy after blazing it into the top right corner. Just cuts down his opponent on the far side. But I think you'll take the trade, a goal for a yellow card. And a goal of that nature for a yellow card especially. And there's a player down for Sporting now following that challenge from Baker. We are beyond the added 1 minute. Sporting will hope that this injury scare is only minor, as the player is back to his feet, and it's a welcome sight for everyone involved. Should be time for one final free kick before the break. And this will likely be the last involvement for either side in this first half. Floated into the mix. Still headed in the air and collected comfortably by Newman. And that may be all she wrote for the first half. Well, there's the halftime whistle. It was a first half in which Tacoma pressed the action and were caught out the other direction. Shane Donovan powering SKC2 in front, but just before halftime, Cody Baker conjuring the response of all responses with a top corner banger from 25-plus yards. And at halftime, our score is Sporting 1, Tacoma 1. Coming up in our halftime show, one of the best young stars in MLS traces his soccer roots after this brief timeout.
a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Wins it!
We welcome you back to Kansas City, where at halftime it is all square between SKC2 and Tacoma Defiance. Goals from Shane Donovan and Cody Baker in the final 5 minutes of that first half provide this plot line at intermission. Coming up, welcome on Wednesday night, Julian Hall scored the first goal in a wild match for the Red Bulls after helping Red Bulls to the Next Pro Cup championship last season. Let's track the remarkable journey of this rising star.
Julian Hall! Remember the name! It's that man again, Julian Hall! It's goal, it goes in! Mehmeti, has he broken through here? Mehmeti across, Hall! Swinging ball towards the back post, it goes! Opening goal for Red Bull New York! Julian Zakshevsky Hall!
Born in Manhattan, New York, Julian Hall found the game the same way a lot of kids in this city do.
I first kind of started playing soccer when I was around 4 years old. I would play a lot wherever I could, if it was a field near my apartment or wherever I could, basically. And I just remember, falling in love with the game and wanting to play as much as I can. There's a main place I would play. It's pretty popular in Manhattan. It's called Pier 40, and a lot of people go there. That's where I played with Manhattan Kickers. It's kind of where I really started to realize I really wanted to play soccer seriously and maybe make it professionally.
That love for the game turned into an opportunity, a move into one of the top academies in the country.
Julian came into our system at U14. I think he played about 3 or 4 games with the U14s. I was a U15 coach at the time, so I was observing those games, and you could see straight away he was a special talent. So he quickly got moved up an age group to play with the U15s that season. Made an instant impact with the older age groups.
The level changed quickly, and so did the expectations.
I was very excited to come in and show my ability, and I was playing with my age and I was playing a year up, and the intensity was a different level, I would say, from what I've ever played at that point in my life. So yeah, no, it's an amazing experience.
Chimueno scored off the bench against Seattle, and Julian Hall with the breakthrough! The Golden Boot leader rises to the occasion, and we've got an electric finish here in the U15 final.
He's one of those players that can get you up off your feet. Like, he's direct, he can take players on, he can score goals from inside the box, outside the box in really different ways, and it would always amaze you how he would find goals in the game.
The next step brought a new set of challenges.
That was the biggest jump for me, going from academy to professional football. The intensity, the physicality, the football, it was all quicker than anything I had experienced before. And, I just thought I did a good job of staying level-headed and not being discouraged about little things.
Working to the midfield, now Gonzalez entering the box, across and a goal! Julian Hall puts the Red Bulls 2 on the board.
I was lucky to be coached by Ibrahim Sakaya, and Bradley Wright Phillips was there a lot of the time as well. They did a good job of helping me progress and helping me not get discouraged and keep going every single day and working hard. The coaching staff really mended me very well.
Like, he's always striving to try and get better at something within games and training. And then, why he adapts well, he's a natural goal scorer.
For Julian, it was about staying level and keeping the work the same.
When you go to a professional environment, if you're doing the most amount of work and you're clearly working harder than everyone else, it stands out to a lot of people, and that can be something that separates you from everyone else. If you're a hard worker, that could get you to a lot of places, and I think that's just something that established me when I first came into the first team.
That work and mentality has paid off with the fast start this season.
We're really happy with the way that he's moving himself forward. He has taken the ideas and has really shown that he is picking things up. Obviously, there's the attacking part, his ability to find chances, his ability to take balls on the move, to dribble, to go by guys, run in the box. The part that goes with it is how much work he does for us against the wall, how much pressing, how much sprinting, how much chasing, how much work he does to really make the game difficult on the other team. And so we're really, really happy with the progress that he's made. We're going to continue to push him.
As he continues to grow, so does the chemistry with his teammates around him.
I've known Julian for a very long time now. I see the way he works in training. I'm getting to know him more and more, obviously, as we play together on and off the field. And then when I step onto the field, I know where he's going to be on the field, what his positioning is like, where he wants the ball, left foot, right foot. And we're kind of growing that connection, which has been going in a really good way, and hopefully, to grow that connection even more.
Mehmedi, has he broken through here? Mehmedi across, Hall! 2-0!
I think it's just the trust with the coaching staff. Coach Michael, he's done a great job with us during preseason and putting trust in me to start the first couple games. It's a lot of credit to him for putting his belief in me. Obviously, I have to go out there and perform to the best of my ability, and thankfully, I've got a couple goals so far. The goal is to keep progressing throughout the season.
Talent and work ethic have helped Julian's dreams come true faster than even he could have predicted.
I've always dreamt of becoming a professional soccer player, but I never really expected it to happen so fast, to be honest. Earlier that year, I was still just playing academy, and I was progressing well, but I never thought it would lead to signing a contract later that year. So it's kind of a lesson there just to be ready for anything, and anything can happen very, very quickly. You really just have to put your all into whatever you're doing, and things can happen. I think a big thing is just self-belief, because when I was playing in MLS Next, I was signing a contract later that season. I had no idea. I did not have a plan on signing that year. That was not in my plan at all. I think things like that can come from just you doing as much as you can, and things will just happen by itself, as long as you're working hard and giving 100% every single day, good things will happen. And thankfully things came to me that year, and you got to be grateful, and you got to use it as much as you can to your abilities.
Welcome back to Kansas City. That was a great feature on Julian Hall, who of course is a product of the MLS Next Pro ranks and lighting it up for MLS in Red Bull, New York. It's now time to get a look around our league in MLS Next Pro. Some scores for the match week. A busy Saturday in which we saw a number of fixtures go final, scoreless between Minnesota and St. Louis City 2. The Western Conference leaders held to just 1 point away from home. Meanwhile, Austin FC 2 obliterating North Texas by a 4-0 scoreline. Carolina Core falling at home. And then on Friday, Ventura County falling to San Jose Earthquakes 2. A big win for Dan DeGeer's bunch. As you look at the upcoming fixtures now for MLS Next Pro, a busy midweek. Tuesday, New York City FC 2 taking on Chicago Fire, Red Bull 2 is at Toronto. Of course, Red Bull, the defending champs. And then on Friday as well, Inter Miami is at home against Chattanooga. So a busy match week ahead in MLS Next Pro. In terms of this match, it was a somewhat slow start for Sporting, but they managed to grab the lead. Many chances for Tacoma in the early going. They were really spreading the ball around well and just exploiting gaps in this back line, and nearly broke the deadlock inside 7 minutes. Osase de Rosario, if not for that late touch by Leroux, might have been in. And then this cross to Phoenix, it required the tracking of Franca to be able to head it out of danger. And you just see continually Tacoma was pushing on here. Another chance that went begging. A good save by Jack Courtcamp, who's making his season debut. And the other way, there were half chances for Sporting Kansas City too as well. But for the majority of this one, they were on the back foot. And that was the story of the first half. The question was, would Tacoma ever take the chances That effort from Kingston dragged wide. And then finally, in the later stages of the first half, you started to see Sporting get more life. They forced a save out of Noah Newman, and on 40 minutes, against the grain, broke the deadlock. Masayo Rodriguez here laying it off to Zane Wantland, who whipped in a pinpoint cross. Shane Donovan on the end of it, heading it home. And just like that, Sporting with a lead on 40 minutes. But just before halftime, Cody Baker conjuring the response of all responses. A cross that got deflected out. Baker puts his laces through it. Half volley top bins. Picked that one out. And on the stroke of halftime, he pulled Defiance level. And that is where we sit at intermission, a 1-1 scoreline. It gives us another chance to look at the upcoming schedule. You see it on your screen. Red Bulls 2 against away from home is going to be the big fixture there. But for now, we will take a quick breather. It is all square between Sporting Kansas City 2 and Tacoma. A pair of goals in the final 5 minutes of the first half set the stage for what should be a fun conclusion. Stick with us.
Boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud, don't worry about what next. Just know we got now, oh yes. Man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
The unique energy of a Sunday night. Ideal for calm music, whispers, stargazing, reflection, and a relaxed environment. Sunday nights were made for this.
Welcome back to Swope Soccer Village, where we are just about set for the start of the second half in this next pro clash between SKC2 and Tacoma Defiance. A Sporting Kansas City side that got off to a slower start, but did respond in emphatic fashion with the opener before halftime. Shane Donovan providing the difference-making moment in the 40th minute, but then Cody Baker, the neutralizer of all neutralizers, a 25-plus yard wonder strike on the half volley to pull Tacoma level. And that is where we find ourselves as this bottom half of the Western Conference six-pointer draws to a dramatic conclusion over the final 45. Right now in the live table, both sides just 4 points shy of the top 8, despite only winning one match through their first 8+ games. For Tacoma, it was a very rocky start to the season. They went winless in their first 7, as did Sporting Kansas City too, but Tacoma was able to get that first win last week. For Sporting, through 9 games, it is just one victory, but when you talk to both coaches, they know their sides are better than the records indicate, and now it's just a question of whether one of them can prove it over the remainder of these 90, or if we will be destined for a penalty shootout to determine who gets an additional point in the table. A lot to play for here in the second half. And we're hearing word that no changes have taken place either way. If you're Tacoma, that probably isn't very surprising. This is a squad that was on the front foot for the lion's share of that first half, and despite one lapse marking-wise defensively, they've been probably the more comprehensive side performance-wise. Sporting probably would go into halftime relatively pleased despite the late plot twist that soured things from Cody Baker. They grabbed the lead, they grew into the match as it progressed, and they have shown signs of life despite being under it for large spells as well. So the two teams take the pitch once again. We thank you for joining us here on our coverage of MLS Next Pro. It's been a fun one so far, and the question is whether one of these two teams can end the night with a triumph. You just saw Shane Donovan on your screen there, the 19-year-old who ascended through the academy, signed a second-team deal a year ago, opened the scoring. His counterpart, Cody Baker, a first-teamer for Tacoma. It's the opposite number that has struck. Historically, it is a fixture that has been a toss-up. 5-6-1 all-time Tacoma record-wise, but unbeaten in the last 6. This is a side that has won 3 straight against SKC2 and has won 5 of those 6 games. So history favors the visitors here. It will be Sporting now going from right to left on your screen, Tacoma from left to right. We just await Alejo's Kalume's signal to get us back underway, and we have it. Tacoma and Sporting with all to play for in this second half. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action here tonight. Thank you for joining us for the remainder of this one. First half in which Tacoma asserted themselves early and often. They were caught out but found a response. And now the question is how they'll respond coming out of the break. They can carry over the momentum they had towards the end of the opening 45. Here's Kingston. Lays it forward to Gomez, who threads it through wonderfully. Sukanome had De Rosario in space, but couldn't pick him out accurately enough. And that is a positive sign of intent from Defiance to begin this second half.
We're in transition. Where's the line here?
Have to wonder what Lee Tashandrit's talking points were at halftime. I think he would have been overjoyed had it been 1-0, just given how the bulk of that first half unfolded and the quality of the goal they produced. And obviously there isn't much you can do about a wonder strike, but they did leave Baker unmarked at the edge of the box. And I think that might put a bit of a damper on what otherwise would have been a relatively optimistic team talk. This is Gaffney on the near side. It's an appetizing cross that's headed away before it can reach De Rosario. Tracked down though. Baker loses out. Tracked down by Hawkins. For Tacoma, there have been so many moments this season where they've struck first or they've been in matches like this and it hasn't broken their way. Last week was the opposite. They came back from 1 down and struck with 4 unanswered to win, but against Vancouver took an early second half lead and fell. It was a similar story against St. Louis in which they battled back and fell as this cross comes in and is collected by Courtcamp. They've had so many almosts in terms of victories prior to last week, and they'll be hoping that they can avoid another almost and turn it into a second consecutive victory.
Johnny side. Johnny side.
Quintero. Haas overzealous as he tried to stroll forward. Kingston, a menace, an all-action presence in that first half for Defiance. They win it back upfield again. Kingston. Gaffney toward the byline, and he ran out of room. When you try to evaluate Jack Courtcamp's first half, I think overall Lita Santrit will be pleased. Not much he can do about the goal. It is a worldie that slaps the roof of the net. But other than that, didn't put any feet wrong, positioned himself well, and handled all the tests that came his way, including the big one-on-one opportunity in which he was able to deny Defiance from close range. You would figure, though, as this wears on, he'll continue to be under fire. And the 18-year-old will be tested.
It's okay, it's okay. That's fine, that's the ball. Kashi, that's your son.
O'Neal.
We should be in midfield. You're ready, Mason. Keep up, Kosh. Kosh, you're too high. Here we go, Kosh. Play, pick him up, left.
Long vertical ball here towards De Rosario. This is O'Neal. De Rosario still looking to have his moment in the spotlight. This time left it dangling. Quintero does well to break it up, but he turns it over again. It's been a common theme for Sporting as they've looked to play out. Kingston, Sukanome, De Rosario knocking it along to Gomez. Use Sukanome in space. Just over. Anytime he has the ball with that much room, you expect bad outcomes for an opposing defense. And Sporting, fortunate he couldn't keep this down. Just tries to pick out that top right corner and has the bend required, but not the dip. And they dodge a bullet for now, SKC2. With all that being said, despite the amount of time they've been under it, even when they turn it over against the press, their defensive shape remains intact. And Lita Santrit has emphasized the importance of remaining compact defensively. This is a side that, as we mentioned, 24 goals allowed entering tonight, the most in MLS Next Pro. And performance so far has been rather sound, despite a wonder strike that has pulled Tacoma level. Kingston. Sideswiped. Gael Quintero actually winning the free kick for Tacoma and drawing the yellow card against Peter Kingston. You see Kingston just left the ball too far in front of him, and then a parting gift on Quintero that draws Alejo Kalume's ire. So that is the first Tacoma man in the book. It's moments like these for a Sporting side that has had so little of the ball in the attacking third. They can truly test this Tacoma defense. Counterattacks and set pieces will be the name of the game for the home side as this wears on. It is Jack Frankup as well as Zane Wantland in the vicinity. Wantland supplying the opener. Frankup arcing it in. Cleared only to the edge of the area. And now more space to cross as they venture into the penalty box and win a corner. It's a rare corner for Sporting here. Only had 2 in the first half. Outswinger. Floats in. Ran all the way through, but ultimately a comfortable catch for Newman, who looks to go direct. Here's a lovely through ball to Rodriguez, who goes down in the penalty area. And the appeals of the crowd waved away. That a real chance. You saw Kashawn Hines drop deep, and it was a well-weighted ball. And Rodriguez just tripped up at the 11th hour. That was the golden moment to cut Tacoma apart. Now they play it wide. Wantland into the mix. Heavy touch from Hines, though. All of a sudden, a Sporting side that has been on the back foot for spells is all over their opposition. Lead to Sandrit's side is a brave one and starting to show that. Here's Zane Wantland, the fullback. Playing it forward. Rodriguez. The established veteran for this Sporting side. Bulk of his 6 years as a pro in MLS Next Pro. Leroux. Quintero. Launches it towards Rodriguez. Well weighted, but beyond the reach of the onrushing Donovan. Well, fans, this portion of the match is presented by Central Bank, the official checking account partner of Sporting Kansas City and the official jersey front partner of SKC2. 10 minutes into the second half, Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action from Victory Field at Swope Soccer Village in Kansas City, Missouri. All square between SKC2 and Tacoma, a pair of sides looking to string wins together. Sporting looking to make it 2 wins from the last 3. Tacoma looking to make it 2 on the bounce. It was a fast start from Tacoma, but they were caught out by Shane Donovan before Cody Baker responded with a firecracker on the stroke of halftime. And that's where we find ourselves with this match still all to play for as we tick closer to the hour mark. They play it forward now. And numbers for Tacoma. This is a weaving chance and a tremendous finish.
Tacoma goal scored in the 57th minute.
They were waiting for Osaze de Rosario to re-announce himself to MLS Next Pro, and he has done so there to power Tacoma in front. This is elite striker play. You see De Rosario just drop the shoulder, dart beyond 2 defenders, and he finishes as he has done so many times before for Defiance. Tacoma 2, Sporting Kansas City 1. He is a goal-scoring machine, Osaze de Rosario. 10 goals in 12 Next Pro appearances a year ago. He scored 8 in the first 5 to earn that first-team contract. And despite maybe not getting the minutes he's wanted with Seattle the last month or so, he has flashed his quality there. Defiance, 2-1 to the good. And it is De Rosario 3 minutes shy of the hour mark. Gaffney. Tacoma hunting more carnage. De Rosario on the turn. And he just lost it off his right foot. It is a deserved advantage for Defiance, no doubt. De Rosario had a few chances fall across his plate that went begging in the first half. He does not make any mistakes there. Darts beyond a number of defenders and makes the difference. Rodriguez is possessed and commits a foul in the process. Tacoma readying changes now, hearing word Osaze de Rosario is about to make way. So that goal is one of his last acts going forward for Defiance. It is Mark Bronick who is getting set to replace him, a frequent starter this season for Tacoma, who did not get the nod tonight with de Rosario present in the second team side. Frank up. Tracked down by Maybe. And now he has room to roam. Rodriguez picking out a spot on the edge of the area. Not only as far as Wantland. Sporting is also readying a pair of changes as well. So the chess match rages on. One of those will come up front. Kashawn Hines is getting set to exit. It's actually now a triple change, so a number of alterations on the cards for SKC2 as they hunt an avenue back into this. So the changes will take place for Tacoma. It is Mark Bronick for Osaze de Rosario, and then a triple alteration for Sporting Kansas City 2. It is 2 changes, pardon me. Kashawn Hines is out. As is Zane Wantland. Tega Ikoba, veteran of MLS Next Pro, replaces him. And in addition to that, Daniel Russo is in for Wantland at left back. De Rosario out for Bronick, and then on the other side, Ikoba for Hines, Russo for Wantland. 2 like-for-like substitutions for Sporting as they look to provide fresh legs on both sides of the pitch. Tega Ikoba is someone with years of experience in MLS Next Pro, spent 3 years under contract with Portland Timbers and featured prominently for Timbers 2 in that time before a year with FC Cincinnati. He's just looking to rediscover his goal-scoring form here in MLS Next Pro. Just 3 goals a year ago. Scored once in his previous 7 appearances to open this young campaign with SKC2. So you now see those changes on your screen as Lita Santret and Paulo Nagamura engage in this tactical battle. They're drifting wide now. We're hunting a cut back to Ikoba, and instead they'll settle for a corner. Kansas City beginning to rack up the set pieces in this second half now. Does Sporting have an answer in its locker? They battled from behind in the past, did so at Rapids 2 on multiple occasions in March. It's an outswinging corner. It's not dealt with just yet either. Ball is still loose. Hunting someone in blue, and it's pounded in! A mad dash, and Sporting Kansas City 2 capitalizes. All square once again. Well, they were just waiting for someone in blue to contact it. They got held up in the area, and it looked like perhaps the chance was lost, but the tenacity is rewarded. And a match that has featured a number of quality goals now has another. Shane Donovan with a brace, and Sporting is level once again. On cue, battled back twice against Colorado. They fell behind after taking the lead in this one, but they're able to provide the relatively swift reply. And just like that, all square with under 30 to play in a match that is shaping up to be a thriller here in Kansas City. Well, for those just joining us, Sporting Kansas City 2 has powered themselves back level in this one. Jumped out to an early lead through Shane Donovan, pegged back, and then conceded to Saze de Rosario after halftime. And Shane Donovan, who entered tonight with just one professional goal to his name, has scored twice and powered Sporting back level. A roller coaster affair so far in the Western Conference. And still all up for grabs as a yellow card will be shown for the extracurriculars by Gael Quintero. Shane Donovan, what a hour plus he's enjoyed as you get another look at this shove. It is the shove from Quintero, and then the reaction kicking the ball away, which drew Alejo Colume's ire. Shane Donovan, mentioned it, just one professional goal prior to tonight. He has tripled his tally with 2 swings of his boot. They were just waiting for someone to contact that, and Donovan did. But now they have to handle this set piece. Peter Kingston has shown a tendency to cause problems for opposing defenses. Kingston drives it goalward. No one there to get their heads to it. And could Sporting conjure a counter? Numbers streaming ahead for SKC2, and Akoba giving chase. That time losing the foot race. Well, fans, this portion of the match is presented by Price Chopper, the official grocer partner of Sporting Kansas City. "25 minutes to play, and this is shaping up to be a fun one." Donovan gave Sporting the lead 5 minutes from halftime. Cody Baker responded with a firecracker in first half stoppage time. De Rosario then powered Tacoma ahead on 57 minutes, and Shane Donovan, after a mad dash in the penalty area from a corner, pounding it home from outside the box to power Sporting level. And that is where we find ourselves with still plenty to play. Rodriguez, he hooks it goalward, and he did not miss that by much. Pure chaos unfolding here. Rodriguez may have been caught between 2 minds here. Looked like perhaps he was thinking about a cross, but nearly snuck it through at the back post from a very tight angle at that. Well, remember, fans, if this ends level, these 2 sides would go to penalties to determine who achieves an additional point in the MLS Next Pro table. Both sides have been in 2 shootouts and won 1. Hence their identical records points-wise. Sporting is hoping to ensure it doesn't get to that point as Haas's cross deflected out of play, and another corner results. From the last corner, they were able to produce an equalizer. Can they inspire some deja vu here? Outswinging ball. Falls to the edge of the area again, and Rodriguez can't replicate Donovan's brilliance from distance. Neither of these sides have inspired consistency in their defending. Sporting, of course, conceding the most in the league. Tacoma, on the other hand of things, had started to shore things up at the back. It was a really brutal start for them defensively. They conceded 6 goals in the opening 4 matches. Since then, though, have been much tighter. But despite nudging themselves in front for the first time tonight, they're unable to protect the lead, and that will frustrate Paulo Nagamura, no doubt. Phoenix. Spaced across. It's a decent ball in, but no one there in teal to greet it. Falls to the edge of the area now, and that ball was always rising.
Make sure you call Misa back if you're overloaded there, bro.
Narrow.
Tacoma is now readying a triple change as they presumably look to chase this. Peter Kingston is one of the players set to vacate. Rodriguez is hoping to carve out space and immediately neutralized by the first teamer Antino Lopez. Bronick laying it off. Gomez wide for Gaffney. Low cross from Sukanome, and just wide. Goal at Tacoma's mercy, and the chance goes begging. Peter Kingston on the end of it. And that may be his last involvement on the night. It's a well-worked move, and Sukanome puts this on a platter for Kingston, who feels he should be doing better. Had Jack Kortkamp in no man's land and just couldn't make him pay.
Tacoma substitutions in the 71st minute, leaving the game number 39, Stuart Hawkins, number 35, Antino Lopez, and number 45, Peter Kingston.
So it's Hawkins, Kingston, exiting as Nyolati is one of the players to enter. In addition to that, we will get a quick sight of a few more options as well. It will be Gayatine Sandnes, who enters for Antino Lopez. And then the final change, Jesper Winslow is in as well. So Winslow, Nyolati, and Sandnes all in. Antino Lopez, Stuart Hawkins, and Peter Kingston out. A pair of changes in the heart of defense, and then Kingston out for Nyolati. All of those changes are relatively straightforward as Tacoma just freshens things up defensively. Bronick. Sukanome. Bronick again, has room. Bronick has a pop, and just wide. Knuckled beyond the radius of that far post. Beginning to see the necessary sharpness from Tacoma in the final third here, though. And that's something that Paulo Nagamura has been craving from his side for quite some time. All in all, regardless of how this turns out for Tacoma, it represents a massive improvement attacking-wise. A side that has scored 6 in the last 3 and has added another multi-goal game to its ledger. This is a side that scored just twice in its first 5 games. So that is a major change, and Paulo Nagamura's assessment that the goals would come has been an accurate one. As now you see the changes, Winslow for Hawkins, Lopez out as well for Sandnes, and Nyolati for Kingston, as this is nearly a costly error by Kortkamp. Just about cleans up his own mess. And now Sporting making another change. Moves and counter moves now. Ty Haas is off. He's replaced by Johan Ortiz, who's been a revelation for Sporting this season, primarily a starter this year. Tonight, coming off the bench, a player who paced the team in goals entering the night with 2. one of the many Sporting Kansas City Academy graduates who signed his first pro contract last March and produced in spotty fashion a year ago, but has opened this year in red-hot form, including a late goal last week in the defeat against Dynamo Doves. Here's Baker, one of the 3 goal scorers this evening, and overhits it there. Gives us a chance to let you know that this portion of the match is presented by St. Luke's, the official healthcare partner of Sporting Kansas City. Final 15 minutes back in from Swope Soccer Village. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action here this evening between Sporting Kansas City 2 and Tacoma Defiance. As things stand, it is all square at 2-2. Sporting got off on the front foot 5 minutes before halftime. They were pegged back by a Cody Baker wonder strike, and Osase De Rosario then powered Tacoma in front. But since then, a response after chaos following a corner from Shane Donovan, who has a brace on the night and has given Sporting hope for a second win in the last 3. There is some medical attention required now on the far side. And the 2 teams will be left to stew in suspense for a matter of moments. Baker. At the moment, Sebastian Gomez is receiving attention from the Tacoma physios. Sukanome is a possible head injury that they're investigating for at the moment, so Gomez's status may be up in the air. Baker. Tacoma's done a good job to stabilize things since the equalizer. It's looked like business as usual. They still have to push on and unlock this stout Sporting side one more time. It's a squad that has been resilient, as we are pleased to report that Sebastian Gomez has re-entered the fray. This is a loose back pass, and it's picked off by Donovan. Donovan had a pop. It was cleared away at the source, though. Had visions of his name up in lights next to the word hat trick, evidently. And you can't fault him for the way he's been finishing in the final third so far today.
Sorry, say that
You!
one more.
Yes, you!
Switch of the play towards Rodriguez. Doesn't quite reach him. Excellent intervention from Cody Baker.
When you can.
Taken quickly by Russo. And there's space now for Rodriguez, who hits it goalward and knocked out of play by Sandus. A corner results, and Messiah Rodriguez put on a show for the home faithful. Gayetin Sandus, the substitute, is still evidently trying to shake this off. Take another look at this. Rodriguez just bypasses multiple defenders and seemed to hit Sandus in a vulnerable spot. At the moment, he seems content to continue, though. Sporting with yet another corner. Their best source of attacking output in this second half. Another in-swinger. It's pinned along the back post and just headed wide. A free header for Tega Ikoba, and he nearly powered Sporting Kansas City in front. Ikoba's in the right place at the right time, and on a different night, you'd fancy him to finish this tantalizingly wide. And it's a matter of inches that keeps Tacoma level. This one could get testy. Both these sides have mentioned the desire to win. Tacoma obviously threw out a starting lineup full of experienced former Next Pro talents that have made their way up to the first team. Sporting looking to prove a point against a side that, at least on paper, had massive advantages across the board. Kansas City could pull this off. It would be one of the more remarkable victories of their recent Next Pro tenure. A side that won just 3 games a year ago, looking to log a second victory in quick succession. This is a high arcing ball that is just headed wide again, but it took a touch for a corner. And the pressure continues to mount now for Tacoma.
Get me out. Shift this way. Okay. Perfect. That's good.
Inside the final 10 minutes now. And it still all hangs in the balance with a potential penalty shootout beckoning. Another in-swinger, another appetizing ball, and it just narrowly evades the onrushing Kansas City players at the back post. Took a final touch off of Tacoma again, though. Take another look here. The Tacoma players failed to clear it, and it nearly benefits Sporting Kansas City tremendously. Instead, we run it back from the opposite corner flag. Another in-swinger, and this one with far less menace than the first. Russo, dispossessed. Is there a chance the other way for Tacoma? Bronick certainly hopes so. And this is Cody Phoenix. Numbers bombing forward for Defiance now. Now Lottie. Bronick running on the back shoulder, and he was offside. Now Lottie. Hooking it forward. It's not cleared convincingly. Sukanome plays it ahead, an appetizing cross. Necessary intervention as well. Chance still not lost yet, though. Sukanome. Baker floating it to the back post, and no one there in teal to greet it. There is a Kansas City player still down on the pitch as well. Gael Quintero, who has run his socks off, is the midfielder full of industry. And it appears he's content to try and walk this off.
Connected in. They probably go long connected in. Connected in here. Jahan!
It is the end of Quintero's night as he will exit. And it is a super sub in Zamir Loyorenaga who kick-started that thrilling comeback against Vancouver Whitecaps FC2 a couple weeks back. Now he is on. So Loyorenaga is on, Quintero off, and that's an attack-minded swap because Loyorenaga is not shy about getting forward. By the way, an interesting note, the league has updated. The goal scorer of Sporting's equalizer was initially credited to Donovan throughout the venue. Ikoba may have gotten a slight touch, so he may have been rewarded on the score sheet, despite Shane Donovan doing all of the hard work and bashing it in. That will be a topic for debate for the league and the two players, I'm sure. Each probably would like to claim it. As of now, though, it is Ikoba credited, and perhaps Donovan robbed of a brace.
Play! Watch the shore or the ball on the ground. They do that. Right there, watch. Right here. Yeah.
Free kick here for Defiance as we're into the final 5 minutes.
On the ground.
Taken short. It's a training ground routine. O'Neal weaves past one defender. A clipped cross. And a crafty turn, but one in which Kansas City runs out of real estate. Misael Rodriguez was trying to go deep into the bag of tricks once again.
Can we get it? Yes, Tommy. Good, Tommy. Good, Samir.
Sukanome driving goalward, just deflects wide. Sukanome trying to push Tacoma on and snag a winner, and you see him here on the edge of the area just navigate through traffic so seamlessly. Tries to pick out that bottom right, and it deflects mercifully wide as far as Sporting Kansas City is concerned. They now have a corner kick to deal with. Yet another set piece for Defiance. They racked them up in the first half. Floats it to the heart of the area. Rodriguez and company hoping to usher it out of trouble. And Rodriguez rounding the corner and turning on the afterburners for Kansas City. Doesn't have the time to play it forward, though.
John, it's you and Blaine in the middle. Johan, double the box here, close side.
Final minute of the initial 90.
Good.
And there's a corner on the other end now. And hearing word, there will be a fair few minutes of added time before a potential penalty shootout takes effect. The way this is unfolded, though, both teams throwing caution to the wind, going for it. They understand the importance of stringing together wins in quick succession. In swinging corner, headed away to the edge of the area, and recycled by Kansas City. Franca. Loyorenaga with room to play in across, and that he does. It's not one that finds a Kansas City player. Rodriguez heads it back into the mix. Ikoba dragged down in the penalty area, and the referee unmoved. Put a pin in that moment, because it looked like there may have been a tug of the kit there. Kansas City fans certainly think there should have been a point to the spot. Tacoma is readying one final change. Charlie Gaffney is getting set to be subbed off ahead of penalties. Edson Carley will replace him, a usual starter. Four minutes of added time separate us from a penalty shootout.
Substitution for Tacoma in second half added time.
Carley will come on, Gaffney will come off. There's potentially a change with penalties in mind. Carley missed his only penalty attempt in the season opener against LAFC 2. But he replaces Gaffney here, and he has a slightly more attack-minded presence on the wings. It's headed back loosely, but Newman can collect. Neither side looks content with the prospect of a shootout.
Go you! Go you! Go! Second ball mark! Up the down tag! Drop! Drop tag!
Final 90 seconds of the added 4 minutes. If either side is to produce a winner, it has to come now. And Tacoma unable to win a corner there.
Seba, come on, Seba. Good, Jack, good. First and second. First and second. First and second.
This is the final minute of the added 4. If it ends level, the shootout to determine who achieves an additional point on the cards. Ikoba dragged down, and this time the referee blows his whistle. And this is one of Kansas City's final chances to make a difference. Side with just one win all season, hoping to make a major statement against a first-team laden Tacoma Defiance squad. It is Jack Franca, the 16-year-old, who stands over this. It's likely Kansas City's final chance to ask questions of this Defiance back line. They've had success in set pieces today, and that delivery is not the finest. There is the full-time whistle. It ends all square between Kansas City and Tacoma, and a penalty shootout on the cards to determine who achieves an additional point in the table. It was a strong performance by both sides, a resilient display as well. The opener from Donovan on 40 minutes, Tacoma firing back with two of their own on either side of halftime from Baker and De Rosario, but then an equalizer just beyond the hour mark allows Sporting Kansas City to salvage a result. We'll step aside briefly, take a look at the rules and regulations surrounding MLS Next Pro and penalty shootouts.
Boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud, don't worry about what next. Just know we got now, oh yes. Man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
The unique energy of a Sunday night. Ideal for calm music, whispers, stargazing, reflection, and a relaxed environment. Sunday nights were made for this.
And we welcome you back to Kansas City, where we are just about set to get this penalty shootout underway between SKC2 and Tacoma Defiance. An extra point in the Western Conference table is on the line. As our referee gives the signal, it is going to be Tacoma taking the first penalty against Jack Courtcamp as these two sides embark on their third shootouts of the year. It appears to be Mark O'Neill who will take the opening penalty, and that it is for Tacoma Defiance. He is an established veteran of Next Pro, featured last season with Whitecaps FC2, and now will take penalties for Tacoma. Someone who has yet to attempt a spot kick this season for Tacoma Defiance, but he is an established veteran of this group. So O'Neill against Courtcamp to get us underway in the shootout. O'Neill takes, and it's saved by Courtcamp. Early advantage to Kansas City. It's not the best of penalties. O'Neill goes for placement, but he doesn't get it right enough, and it's an easy dive. It's read to perfection by the 18-year-old. And on his season debut, he gives Sporting Kansas City the early advantage. And so now the pressure flips. Tega Ikobo will take a penalty for Sporting Kansas City. As of now, he's being credited with the equalizer. There will be a topic of debate as to whether it was him or Donovan that got the final touch. But he, nonetheless, will stare down Noah Newman to open things up for Kansas City. An experienced finisher in this league. And he has his effort saved. But hold on a minute. They may retake the penalty because Newman was off his line And a lifeline here for Sporting Kansas City. Take another glance here. Newman does come off his line. It is the right call from Alejo Kalume, and it provides Tacoma with another opportunity from 12 yards. Someone with a number of goals at the next pro level, double digits at that. And this time he finishes. Early advantage to Kansas City. And Noah Newman, unfortunately for him, aiding that cause. This time he goes for placement, and this time he gets it right, perfectly into the bottom right. No chance for Newman. And Kansas City with the early edge as Sebastian Gomez prepares to take this penalty for Defiance. Gomez has been a regular starter for Defiance this year. Went perfect on penalties a season ago, was 2 of 2. Has not found the back of the net in league play this year, though, for Defiance. So he stares down court camp. Gomez finishes this time. And Tacoma now off the mark in the shootout. Good penalty, a little more power behind it than his predecessor here. And he finishes with relative comfort. And so now Kansas City with a chance to maintain its advantage. It is Zamir Loyo-Renaga, who's shown a knack for showing up in the big moments for SKC2. He did kickstart that comeback against Whitecaps FC2 a couple of weeks back with his first professional goal. And now he gets a chance at the penalty spot, his first of his professional career, the 15-year-old. So Loyo-Renaga against Newman, hoping to maintain the advantage for Kansas City. And it's saved by Newman, and this time it stands. All square through 2 rounds. Nobody taking their chances with aplomb from 12 yards. The 15-year-old here also goes for placement and doesn't get it right. It's read by Newman step for step. And it's all even as Yusukanome strolls to the spot. And he is someone that is exceptional in scenarios like these. Did not miss last season. A perfect 4 of 4 from the spot. And he looks directly down at court camp, hoping to give Tacoma their first advantage of this shootout. Leading goal scorer with 4 goals. Had a number of opportunities to create a goal tonight for Defiance. Long run up from Sukanome, and it does the job. Places it in the top corner and places it outside the reach of Newman. Outside the reach of court camp. And for the first time tonight, Tacoma with the advantage. He just stutters up and then puts his laces through it. And despite court camp guessing the right way, it is too late. And now it is Johan Ortiz, the substitute, who leads the team in goals but had little chance to make an impact tonight. This is his first penalty of the season for the 19-year-old. Ortiz against Newman, and Ortiz right down the barrel. Well taken. Decisive penalty. Sometimes it's a bit gutsy to go down the middle, but he sends Newman the wrong way and clatters it into the back of the net. So now it is Cody Baker's turn. It is Xavi Nyauladi's turn to take a penalty for Tacoma Defiance. He buried his only penalty attempt of the year against San Jose Earthquakes 2 in mid-March. Nyauladi against court camp. And Nyauladi tucks it in with aplomb. Since the early scuffle, Tacoma has been flawless from 12 yards, and Xavi Nyauladi, no different. Just nestles it in the bottom left. It is the wrong way from Court Camp, and it now puts the pressure on Sporting Kansas City too, as Daniel Russo takes his aim from the spot. 24-year-old who joined from Vancouver this winter. Russo against Newman. And it's saved by Newman. Advantage Tacoma for the first time tonight. And they now have the chance to seal it from 12 yards. It's a stutter step. Newman reads it the whole way. A strong palm takes it away. And if Tacoma Defiance finishes this chance, they round out the shootout. It is Edson Carley, who was subbed on just before penalties, clearly with the intention to take one. He missed his only attempt of this season against LAFC 2, but he can wrap it up with one swing of his boot from 12 yards and secure a point in the standings for Defiance. Can Court Camp keep Kansas City alive? Can Carley finish it? He can! Tacoma Defiance secures the additional point in the table. And while it's not the full three, they walk away with additional spoils away from home. Finishes all square at 2 apiece, and Edson Carley with a decisive spot kick in the shootout. Just see him walk up, stutter step, sends Court Camp the wrong way, and after missing the initial penalty, Tacoma makes their final 4 comfortably to win 2 points from an available 3 here tonight. Well, it was a strong display from Defiance, a side that battled behind from the initial deficit. And Osazade Rosario is our man of the match tonight, presented by Adidas. He put Tacoma in front on 57 minutes with this crafty finish in which he weaved through a series of defenders. You see him just pick this up, dart past 2 defenders, and drive it home in the bottom left. That was the man of the match moment, and while they were pegged back, it was enough to force a shootout, and ultimately Tacoma victorious at the end of the day. So Osazade Rosario, in his return to Next Pro, is the man of the match for Tacoma as they secure 2 points from an available 3 and climb further up the Western Conference table. That is where we will leave things here tonight from Kansas City. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Sam Goldfarb. Once again, our final score is 2-2 between Kansas City and Tacoma, with the latter side prevailing on penalties. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.